Brought to you by stationhousecoffee.com and patreon.com/inspireddisorder.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
UFC on ESPN just happened this past Saturday, May 30th, from the APEX facility in Las Vegas, the UFC APEX, where they host the Dana White Tuesday night fights. A great venue. I really enjoy the venue, especially now that there's no crowds. It's a smaller cage, which is, provides itself its own kind of excitement for the fight. But also, it's just set up. I mean, it's a venue specifically set up for no crowds. So, I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was a great night of fights. This one was headlined by Tyron Woodley versus Gilbert Burns. And a pretty fun night of fights. I mean, the main event itself, of course, you all know, Gilbert Burns won it. It was a unanimous decision. Tyron Woodley I don't think at any point did he have an advantage in that fight. He just was on the feet, I don't think it went to the ground much. I think it was mostly striking. But, yeah, Gilbert Burns destroyed it. Tyron Woodley, I don't know who gave him his nickname. It would not surprise me if the Chosen One, which is Tyron Woodley's nickname, was given to himself by himself. Because he's the type of guy, he's a guy that his ego has been his worst enemy. From the moment he won the belt initially, I mean, his rise to the belt was impressive. But once he got the belt, all he cared about was money. He talked about legacy, despite, a division that had been reigned over by GSP, who defended his belt. I don't know how many times, but a guy that just let his work speak for itself. Tyron Woodley's trying to from the get-go, trying to market himself as the greatest of all time. Meanwhile, having pretty lackluster, boring fights. And then after his loss, just, he got distracted from fighting, thinking that he was magical or something, that he did not have any respect for other artists, rappers, comedians, actors. He just assumed that since he's a good fighter, that he's magically good at other things versus not putting in the work that he put into being a great fighter. And I think he's just had a downfall since then. Since he started his rap career, his fighting career has gone to shit. And I don't know. Maybe people just know how to beat him now. They know his number. But he looked horrible. Gilbert Burns looked amazing. I'm excited to see who Gilbert Burns fights next in the welterweight division. It's a fun division. Also, last night there was the Sakai versus Blagoy Ivanov was a fun fight. A couple catchweight fights. Looks like Roosevelt put it on Brock Weaver. It was a great fight. Ended up getting a submission, rear naked choke. Pretty dominant fight overall for Roosevelt. Mackenzie Dern was back after her loss. I think she had like a really fast comeback after having a kid and had a loss. I forget to who, but she fought Hannah Cyphers, who was putting it on her quick, but once it got to the ground, she got the knee bar and it was all over. So we'll see. It's not the biggest of competition, but we'll see where she's at in her next fight. Caitlin Chukagian, just coming off of her loss to Valentina Shevchenko. She fought Antonina Shevchenko and destroyed her. At no point in that fight did Shevchenko have any kind of ability to do anything. When they were, the striking, she had some advantages, I would say. But there was not that much time spent. There was just a quick takedown from Caitlin and just dominant performance, staying busy, putting on potentially close to landing a bunch of submissions. But, Chukagian put it on her and showed that she is the cream of the crop in that division. And that Antonina Shevchenko, is the lesser of the two Shevchenko sisters by far. So just the inability, and I think Nunes showed that as well. That Antonina just had nothing. Once Nunes got her to the ground, she just had nothing on the ground. So definitely big holes there. So I unless she can get her ground game better, I can't see her getting very far in the flyweight division. But you never know. You never know. I guess, did Nunes fight her? I don't know if Nunes fought her. Nunes fought somebody. No, she fought. I was thinking of a different fighter. My bad. She never fought Shevchenko. Yeah. So overall, fun night of fights. Tim Elliott, always fun to watch. He got a loss. Smolka got another loss. I don't know how many times Smolka's lost, but it seems like it's been a lot. I can't remember the last. He was like a guy that was kind of well touted when he first came into the UFC, and I think he had a few good performances, but just fell off for sure. But yeah, fun night of fights. I really enjoyed the Apex venue, which is going to be the home of the next fight, UFC 250, headlined by the one and only, the GOAT in the females. Amanda Nunes is fighting Felicia Spencer in the featherweight division, so she's defending her 145-pound belt against a big 145er. So we'll see what happens. I can't imagine Nunes losing. She's been dominant in all of her performances. The only time she hadn't looked good was some up kicks that she narrowly missed in the fight that I was thinking of prior, but I can't think of the woman's name. She fought. It's my brain is blanking. But the next fight card is going to be fun. You got Cody Garbrandt's coming back after, I can't remember the last time he fought, but him against Rafael Assunção should be fun. Aljamain Sterling is fighting against Corey Sandhagen. That should be fun. So a few, and Eddie Wineland versus Sean O'Malley. So you got 3 bantamweight fights in the main card. Should be fun. Sean O'Malley obviously on a run right now, kind of destroying everybody that gets put in his place. Now that he's back from his suspensions anyway, I guess this would only be his second fight since being back from his suspensions of tainted supplements. But Neil Magny is also fighting against Anthony Rocco Martin. So should be a fun, that's the main card, the pay-per-view card. Should be a fun card overall. Alex Caceres is fighting Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper, the young kid that's just like awkward, but he's just so game. That should be a fun, like a good, Alex Caceres would be a good test, I would say, for Chase Hooper. Yeah. Who else is fighting? Alex Perez versus Jussier Formiga. Charles Byrd versus Maki Patolo. Brian Boom Kelleher is back against Cody Stammen. He was trying to call out Sean O'Malley, I think, but O'Malley got the Wineland fight. I'm not sure how the rankings are. I would imagine Sean O'Malley's fighting Wineland because of rankings. I would imagine Wineland is a higher ranked fighter at the moment, and Sean's trying to get his way up there. He wants to fight. I forget what the article was or the headline was, but Sean O'Malley said he's like a few fights away for fighting from the belt, which I could see that if he gets an impressive win against Wineland, I could see them putting him. I mean, the bantamweight division is just ridiculous right now. So, after this fight, I could see him getting thrown to the wolves. If Aljamain Sterling wins, or maybe even Cody Garbrandt. I don't know where he's ranked, but that would be a fun fight. There's just a lot of fun fights at the bantamweight division, I think, right now, especially now that there's the belt is available now that Cejudo is retired. Should be fun. Should be a fun night of fights. I enjoyed last night's card. The very first fight, it was leg kicks of the last Saturday's card, I should say, the Woodley versus Burns. The very first fight, a lot of leg kicks, and DC was trying to call the end of the fight consistently throughout the last round. That I think it was the third round. Like, he was yelling at the ref to stop the fight due to leg kicks continuously. Thankfully, it was the only time where it seemed like DC was trying to influence the fight, because with no crowd, it's very possible that they can do that. Although they put up plexiglass barriers, so maybe that cuts the sound. I don't know. It really felt like he was trying to influence the fight from the commentary booth. And they also did like remote interviews after the fights, which, you know, I didn't really like. It was the most low energy interviews, but I don't know. They're trying new stuff. But I enjoy the Apex, and I'm excited to see how these fights play out. It's no heavyweights or anything like that. It's a bunch of smaller fighters. So I think there's the biggest is a light heavyweight, the very first fight, Alonzo Menefiel versus Devin Clark. Everything else is just like middleweights and bantamweights, featherweights. Should be fun, though. Be sure to check out our sponsor, StationHouseCoffee.com and Station House Coffee on Instagram for small batch, single origin, premium coffee brewed in Vermont, shipped directly to you. Make sure you follow Station House Coffee on Instagram and go buy your coffee at StationHouseCoffee.com. Also, check out the newly released Patreon, patreon.com/inspireddisorder. For only $3 a month, you could become a member, get access to the full week of The Ray Taylor Show, binge the full week in video and audio form, save massive amounts on the many faces with a coupon code that's specific to Patreon, and you also can download the raw PSD files, the Photoshop files for all the Photoshops that I do. So for only $3 a month, become a member over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder and get all those benefits and more. Patreon.com/inspireddisorder. New episodes come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Go binge the full week over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Buy the merch for The Ray Taylor Show over at inspireddisorder.com and follow The Ray Taylor Show on Instagram. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!